I have called the meeting to order. Commissioner Dinger, will you lead the pledge, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda is to approve our agenda.
Move.
Motion by Weiss.
Second.
Second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. This time we'll open the meeting up for any public comments. Anyone wish to address the commission this morning on any topic that isn't on the agenda? Online, on the phone? Nobody in the room? We'll move on. First up, Mike Scott, landfill manager, to discuss set fees for 2026. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. I don't know if everyone got a copy of the fee schedule
Yes.
change. I guess we can talk assessments first. We're just gonna raise those $5 straight across the board, except for apartment units, so. Right now, that assessment generates, I think, a little over $700,000 a year. So that covers our contract to haul and place waste, so we're close. I mean, as far as what we need for revenue to cover those expenses, so.
Okay.
We need to stay ahead of it, not by far.
Yeah,
but
yep,
ahead of
and
it.
we've always been ahead of it, so
Mhm.
we'd like to stay that way.
Right.
The next one is our tipping fee. Do we wanna?
Make a motion on the other one first.
Move.
Okay, we have motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Gage, to discuss, or to set the assessment fees. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next one's our tipping fees at the landfill, and that's the charges that we assess for anyone that comes through the gate. Those are the fees that we set for that, and I'd like to raise those from $42 to $49 a ton, at least for our household waste fees. The biggest reason for that is our upcoming cell construction next year. Lynn and I have kind of gone over the numbers, but we're gonna be really close on revenue to cover that expense. Next year's budget is a little over $6 million, so we're gonna need this extra revenue to help cover that expense, and it's gonna be close.
Not get any cheaper.
When
No.
was the last time that the fees were raised?
Last year,
They went from 35
they
to
went
42.
from 38 to 42.
38 to 42?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a reason you just don't go to 50? Just
49 sounds a little bit
cheaper?
better.
49.99.
I assumed that, but I thought, wow.
Yeah, I mean, just for reference, though, Brookings is at 48.75, and don't ask me why, 75.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell's at 45, Rapid City is at 66, Sioux Falls at 41, Walworth at 43, Watertown at 60, and Pierre at 53.
I think we go straight to 50.
I had kind of sticker shock when you sent those out, because I was like, man, all a pickup or trailer load of garbage is going to be quite a bit. But I was curious at what other counties were.
Yep, and a lot of them have a lot higher minimum charges and a lot, so that's for our, like I said, for our municipal solid waste, which we generate 58 to 60,000 tons annually. So I guess you can do the math, and it's, at 50 it'd be another 300,000. So, yeah.
That's just the solid waste or for the household? Or
Yep.
that's everything?
Well,
Because everything's going up. so
everything is going up, I mean,
That's
from,
what we need to do for...
from.
That's the one the average person
From
stopping
trees,
out is
but
gonna.
the average, the bulk of our material that we charge for is that material.
Sure.
The other materials have all gone up also, so.
Okay.
But all of that is calculated into what we need for that cell project and stuff.
Well, like I said, it's gonna be close,
Okay.
so. And like I said, it's not a straight across the board 49, I mean, we're 49 and 42, really at 40, so it's incremental, kind of based on the type of material.
Sure. All right. which is of the commission. Approve the 49, or approve the proposed,
The proposed
table
fee
that
schedule
he-
for 2026. Any other questions?
You just go with it the way it is presented, I
Okay.
guess, 'cause I mean, it's not, if it was across the board 49,
Yeah.
I could see, you know, but.
Just
since it's
for
all
reference
over,
to
when I
our,
was reading through that, that's.
our current enterprise fund balance is right at 5.3 million, roughly.
Yeah.
So, out of that 5.3, what, about 2 million of that, Lynn, is restricted cash that we can't use? For closure, post-closure, remedial.
Sure.
So, and off of that comes some pretty major expenses yet this year.
Sure.
You know, with our $800,000 compactor, and I guess that's probably the big one that's
Sure.
left. So,
Okay.
What was proposed?
Okay, we have a motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Gage to accept the proposed land tipping fees schedule. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thanks for working through the numbers.
Thank you, Mike.
and our landfill compactor is on the Ro-Ro boat. And this is kind of funny, because that's what it's called, is a Ro-Ro boat. Look it up. It's a roll-on, roll-off. So.
There's a song for that.
So not close.
Yeah, it's supposed to hit Baltimore tomorrow.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it left, when did it leave, like the 3rd of July?
Oh, really?
No, the 12th.
Okay.
So taking
Paint's dry.
So it's
All
supposed
it
to,
here
it's supposed to
is dry.
arrive, 7:30, but I think it's supposed to arrive tomorrow.
That's a pretty fast boat.
So, about 10 to 14 nautical miles per hour. They sent me a tracker, so I can track the boat on water.
Cool.
But it hasn't communicated in the last 4 days, so I sent the guy a text. Now, what'd they do, sink it, you know, or is it Pirates of the Caribbean? I don't know. But, so anyway,
A little slower than flight tracker.
yeah, it's coming.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thank you. All right, next up, Dirk Rogers, Highway Superintendent, with a couple items. Good morning, Dirk.
Howdy, how are you guys?
Good.
Our second New Holland loader came from Italy on a barge, and it ended up, it was meant to stop in the Caribbean somewhere for, you know, a scheduled stop, and then one of the hurricanes came through there, and we ended up, it took them like 2.5 months from the time they left until they got here. It's literally a slow boat from China. Okay, I got, a couple things on there. The first one was a grant for Bridge 350. We're not gonna apply for that, or I'm not gonna recommend applying for it. I'll circle back around to why, because I'm gonna talk about some other bridges. Well, whatever, we'll do it now. So, and I also want this to be a cautionary tale to egg producers. If you got a bridge you're using, don't use it illegally, and I don't care, but once the bridge goes posted, well, I'm not the cops, Drew, but once the bridge goes posted, that's when we need to know that it's an important bridge, not when we close it 25 years later and now it's $1.5 million and you're starting from scratch. Because we had a similar thing with the guy that bought some property down here and was gonna put a shop in, and it's a 3-ton bridge because it's got a 2-tracker on it and it's never been a thing. And then what happens, and like I said, this isn't, everybody can do their thing however they want, but if you don't tell us that you use that bridge, and we just look at it, no one ever calls, and it goes posted, and they just keep using it, well, it's not ever gonna, you know, well, no one ever calls us about that until we close it, and then, of course, you guys know what's next, right? Most important bridge in the county. Okay, so that's my thing about that. If we get that word out, if it's actually something you use, like the one outside of Warner, All right, I pretty much figure, yep, that's an important bridge, so we'll get that one switched as soon as we can do it for the right cost and all that. This bridge is out here, okay? If no one ever tells me that that's important, I'm just gonna sit and watch and blah, blah, blah. Well, we were fine, and then, I don't know if you remember the story, but we went from 10 ton to 0, really fast, way faster than they would normally, because it started sliding off its end caps. Somewhere in the process, we were gonna do a Holloway bridge in there. And then we had a bit of falling out, or I didn't like the way a deal went with them. So, I don't wanna hire them again, okay?
Holloway?
Holloway. As of right now, it doesn't have to be forever, but we have to change how we do some things with them. Anyway, having said that, we have enough stuff to make the bridge, and what we're gonna do is recycle the deck units. They're concrete double Ts, there's nothing wrong with them. The whole problem with the bridge is the substructure is all timber, and it's just way past the end of its useful life. But the concrete Ts are fine. This is where I'm gonna get in a little bit of voodoo economics, but, you know, I'm gonna pitch in from the hip here a little bit. It's probably a hair over $1 million. If we're gonna run that bridge fully through the bridge program, we'd end up with $1 million bridge. We pay 20% of that, it'd be $200,000. That bridge will get built 3 to 4 years from now, if we run through the program. If we use those deck units, we're gonna be putting the same size bridge back in there, so we don't have to do the hydrology. There's very minimal engineering. Basically, we have almost all the steel, depending on who the designer is, okay? It'd be a difference of opinion. I'm gonna have IMEG look at what we already have. We've already paid for it. We already have the deck units that were paid for in 1957, but they're there. And, I wanna go that route with the bridge. Use all the stuff we already have. We may have to add a little bit more just on an engineering discretion between two different designers looking at it. And I can't sit right here and go, yep, we're gonna bring it in at exactly the same cost as we would if we paid the $200,000 to match it, but I think it's gonna be damn close. And those deck units, like, to take them off and put them back is about $300,000 if we were replacing them with new. So that's where your major savings is. So that's what I would like to do with that bridge. I think we can get the cost close enough that the fact that we'll get it in there 2 to 3 years sooner is certainly worth it. So unless you guys have a problem with that, I wanna just scrap the grant program, which is a good program, but it moves too damn slow. Especially if you wait till the bridge is closed to start up the process.
Sure.
And that's sort of what my comment pertains to. If you can, when the bridge is at 20, or when the bridge is up there, you can start those 3 years to get it replaced, you never have to get to the point where it's completely closed. And if, you know, that's kind of the point I'm trying to get to on that. So, okay? So,
You want people to call you?
well, call the shop.
What intersection is that on? Does that say the street numbers right there?
It's on 375th,
Okay.
in between 117 and 118.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
although West River, it wouldn't be a big deal, but, I mean, the reality here is people have become accustomed to, you don't have to deviate too far. We have almost 3,000 miles of open section line in this county, so,
Close to the gym.
just go to Missouri already, we just know. And then the other thing with this one, you go here about 3 miles, you got about a 80 to 100 foot elevation change, which, you know, West River, they laugh at that, but here that's pretty significant.
Right.
So that is a structure that gets a little bit of water coming in on it. So anyway, boy, that's the most I've talked about that bridge in my entire career altogether, but that's what the plan's gonna be with it, unless you guys have any issues.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Well, it's not inconsistent with what we've done over the years, just
No.
mix and match depending on what we do with our own resources and what we do with programs, and the two variables are the money and the time, and
Yep.
how they fit together and the needs for that.
Well, and I appreciate that you guys recognize that, because you're probably not gonna find a book that tells you how to do this, right? And I just always believe we try to maximize where you can, you don't always, not every single time is it a home run, but, if you get enough right, get more right than wrong over the years, I think you come out ahead, but, so,
It's good change too, but in the meantime.
Yep. All right, now I'm gonna hop over to project update. Stuff up in the northeast part of the county's all done. I saw them up sealing the rumble strips the other day when I came back from Britain. Which, side note, that Britain meeting was about as good as those get. That was some good conversation, and it's good Carl and, Senator Roller there, and they aren't always that valuable, in my opinion, but that was a good one.
That was a good one.
In my opinion now.
The meetings of the legislators.
Okay, so. No, we got everything done up there, it looks pretty good, other than a few calls about why didn't you go further? But, yeah, I'm really pleased with the way that came
You
out.
wanted the calls.
And we did, it came in about 400,000 less. I don't know if you saw the bill in there, the last bill went through. It took, one thing was the oil. Without going into the weeds too far here, it was designed for to use 7% oil, but when you achieved your voids and everything else tested out fine at 6%, so we ended up with 1% oil difference there, and that, I don't know what the number is, but it's like 100-some thousand. And then the other thing was, they were getting behind, their own schedule, and, they asked if they could forego the flush seal. You should do the flush seal, okay? In a vacuum, you should always do the flush seal, but with our deal, we're gonna resurface that next year. We'll come through there with micro to seal off the top of it, of pretty much everything we've done in the last 3-4, we'll try to do as much as we can afford, my little story I told you on the budget meeting, but, so that was, we took that out as well, sped them up, and, since we're gonna do some kind of, surface treatment to it next year anyway, it was reasonable. So I think it came out to like 474,000 or something we saved. I don't like saying saved, but we were able to redirect to something else. Yeah. Should be turning around up there on 16. Came up one truck short, drives me nuts, but, so they're gonna finish that out, and they'll go to turn around. What they do is, everybody will get full, we let all the trucks through, and then you set the paver down, so that way, by the time we're, half a mile down the road, the other side will have cooled, then we can start. I'm not a big fan, I like to stop and then pick up the next day, but they'll make it work. So I would imagine we'll be there 2 more weeks. They're turning today, I'm hoping by the end of the week, we're back to the bridge, and then we'll hop across, do the south piece. And, we have to leapfrog around there because the bridge is posted, and I didn't figure we should get caught hauling over our own posted bridge, so, we're working it sort of in 2 segments, one north of the bridge where we come in from the north, and then the other one will come up through Columbia. So we'll do that, then we'll hop up on 5A, and on 5, it's right in the neighborhood of where 5A is. I think we stopped on that hill right here. So we're gonna get over here another 2.3 miles, and then that's where if we start getting too low, I don't wanna screw with the elevation of the river. And then we'll have about a mile and a half in there, and that'll get addressed before the year's out. We're probably gonna mill it, put a double chip seal on it, won't change the elevation of the road, and hopefully that'll hold up for a few years, so we'll give it a whirl. And then, that last little bit I just settled later, but we'll do this pave, and then we're gonna hop down here and do that piece on 27, which is basically from Mansfield all the way to the county line.
When is that, Dirk, approximately?
Probably so I think we got 2 more weeks here, say a week there, so we're probably 4 weeks we'll start down there.
You have pavabilization? Just move to it.
No kidding. Just other comments, the Elm Bridge bid last Wednesday, we had 2 bidders. Depending on what your philosophy is, in raw dollars, it's gonna cost us $8,500 more, the county. than it would have had we taken the first bid, when we only had one bidder and it was 200% of the estimate. I asked them to reevaluate to see if they're 100% sure about their estimate, because that was one of the, I thought it was a little too low. Now, it's hard to understand that, but the total project ended up being $174,000 more than had we taken the first one. We pay 2% or 5% of that. So, it's,
Isn't it essentially the same, just inflation push?
kinda, I mean, I got in a little bit of a discussion with the bid letting office, because they're looking at the raw dollars, and I responded by saying you should have presented better data, because what you sent me was a $2 million estimate and a $4 million bid. You know, well, now they went to where they said it's 2.9 million, which is more realistic, but the bid went up, $174,000, whatever it was. But I said, yeah, but now you can at least justify it because it's within like at least less than 200% of what your estimate was.
Right.
So, I don't know, it's,
Move it along.
yeah. Okay, anyway, we have a bidder on that. We haven't got any kind of timeline. It hasn't been officially accepted, but unless you guys have an objection, I just tell them we'll make it and let's get the bridge in there. And as you recall, and maybe this is part of the reason why we had trouble with the bidder, we are raising that up 1.5 feet at the request of the residents of the lake and the feds and the state. Everybody went along with it to better accommodate water recreation, I guess. Okay, so let's, and the Sand Lakes, everything's the same, planning on going on that in the spring, it'll be all done in 1 year. Geotech folks were in last week, did some cores for the railroad crossing over there in 14, so we should have a design coming pretty quick of what we need to do there, and we'll bid it right away, and hopefully in the next couple of months, we'll have somebody working on putting a concrete all through those, tracks to try to minimize all the wumpa-wumpa-bump.
Keep the railroad ties from popping out. I drove by when that happened last week.
And that's another sidebar with the railroad, it's such a bugger, because things like that, everybody starts calling the highway department, the sheriff's calling the highway department, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll put out some barricades, but it's the railroad's deal, and drives you nuts. But anyway, we got some barrels set up. I mean, under the circumstances, it could have been worse. All gates are open at the wall, and it's at a 102, so it's down pretty decent, not too bad. And I think that's...
Ground keeps soaking everything up.
I want to comment on a thing that's come up a couple times. I know Scott sent it to Lynn an email, and then the gentleman followed up with, Dwayne, he must have followed up with you about it. It pertains to 12W out there, west of town, where it's the
dog leg.
It's the dog leg. I know, but not everyone's been here as long as you and I. When you turn off the, bypass going south, okay? Which the first reason that we even put 12W in there is because 281 is a limited access highway, so they needed to have like a frontage road system in there. And that was designed in 2001. So when that was designed, nobody was building houses out there, nobody was doing anything. It was Delbert Lowe's field. And Mike was instrumental in forward-looking.
I insisted on the dog leg rather than a diagonal, because there was gonna be no other frontage access for future development.
And that's why that intersection...
It's developed exactly as I anticipated.
Right. Except maybe like 10 or 15 years later.
No, that's about the timeline I figured.
Actually, and you can correct me, the anticipation at that time was more a commercial development, though. I mean, it was like someone would put a gas station or something in there.
There still might be along the highway on the east side of that. So
anyway, but the whole point of that road, as Mike's saying, was because we wanted to have the limited access, so that was a compromise. We got, that whole, it wasn't the same project, but there was so much with launching the bridge and the bypass and our road, and then we took out 2 bridges and built another one.
Well, the original design was to leave that a dirt road for crying out loud.
Yep. And that's, 1920 is the first time the West Bypass came up as a topic, and it was 2004 when it finally got open, so.
But the original design was to leave that as a dirt road.
Yeah, just like it was before.
Yeah, and it's like, well, while we're in here, acquire the right of way, put it in there as part of the project to get it done, because people will take the shortest route, and if that's a dirt road, to get from the north over there, that's where they're gonna go.
But back to the intersection that we're talking about, it's built the way, does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It's the second corner, you turn off the bypass and then it's a right, it's not a curve, it's a right angle, and it was designed to be it's basically an urban intersection you'd see in a city. And the whole point of that, as Mike said, and at that time, it wasn't even necessarily north, it could have been west. And that's, eventually, I would assume, someday,
Maybe.
it'll get developed to the west. And so, the other problem regarding the gentleman's comments about the way the headlights line up, I guess once it gets to the point that it's an active intersection and people are coming out, if that's a problem, you can address it at that point. But there's enough room, everyone takes that thing like it's a curve, but it's not. So if you go out there and look, the white line's out here,
Yep.
and everybody's driving over here, way to the side. There's plenty of room.
They do that at every intersection, they
Right.
should be slapped for doing it.
But, oh yeah, see the county guys.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that should be a right angle. If we have to do something, once we got a stop sign up there and there's active traffic, you can tweak the striping on the road. There's enough room, if there's a small alignment, you can move that over. And then eventually, it'll probably be, when a lot of us aren't around here anymore, there will be a stop sign, I would assume, potentially even a 4-way stop, depending on how it develops out there.
Sure.
But I guess to Mike's point, and to what my point is as well, is it's exactly how the thing was designed and
For future development.
right, and it was in 2001, so it has nothing to do with jurisdictional issues or anything like that. It was just a logical thing at the time, and there wasn't any specific plan at that time either, that someone was saying, oh, good, get the road built, and I'm gonna put my mini mall and my, trailer park in here or whatever, so. At this time, I mean, I don't,
Well, you get the same effect in spades when you go over the overpass, because you got both vehicles coming on the crown pointed up, so, you want to talk about bright lights.
I don't know that there's anything we really need to do there to change it. If it is a problem or visibility or something later on, we can.
What exactly was the complaint? I guess I didn't catch that part.
The lights,
The lights of
other vehicles.
on that road or coming out of the new
Somebody
development?
comes from the north now on the street that's coming through, you'll be looking at headlights, which you do all the time.
This is Bader's, I mean, I don't wanna, because it's secondhand to me, but that was one of the original comments.
He came into our office and I redirected the information to Dirk.
Sounds like you need a roundabout.
Yeah, if you look at the alignment,
I'm in.
as you're coming north,
With a
Yeah.
tree
as
feature
you're
on the
coming
top
north,
to
the
block
northbound
headlights.
lane is right in line with the southbound
Yeah,
lane.
coming out of the new
So it's
development.
slightly off
Yeah.
center,
Slightly acute.
so
Yeah.
it's slightly not lined up. It's off by about 12 feet.
Example.
They could actually take care of that, in my opinion, inside the city limit line with that last lot that they have in there, for readjustment on their street. I mean,
Make a little dig in the street or what?
yeah, have a little curve on, a little offset on their, street inside the city limit line for the traffic going south and line it up.
Curb gutter and the final lifter down.
Because the Brown County Highway was there first before they developed.
Yeah, why didn't
That's my point.
they just didn't line up the road properly because of the lot size?
No consideration. They just had their development, and, now that it got asphalted, a person coming from the west and taking that curve every day, twice a day, he said that the headlights are right in your eyes. well, there's not a lot of traffic there right now, is what he's saying. Now is the time to correct it, but I don't think it's Brown County's correction, in my opinion.
No. And I don't like, kinda like, we gotta wait till they get the curb and gutter in there and they get a shrub planted and then see what the whole picture is, but
Yeah.
I don't intend to recommend changing anything we're doing there, with the one exception of maybe when we restripe the road, we bump that over a couple of feet to make it outside of that.
Realign it.
Okay,
That's it?
did we cover that well enough?
Yep.
Informational purposes, and I'm sure you probably noticed, it's not our project, but we will be involved in it. The Sixth Avenue Bridge has been pushed from 26 to 27.
Yep. Which is sort of good, because I had a talk with Pete, Mark Peterson, I'm eating candy now, and, they're gonna do some crack sealing. I don't know if they'll do any full depth paving like they did last time, unless there's a short spot that really needs it. But we are gonna go through a thing, do a little drive-through and see, but he is talking about crack sealing, striping. We might try sealing the shoulders. I gotta go back and see when we last did something with those shoulders. This is the one road we have that has shoulders on it, but
13 and 14, or just 13?
both of them will get,
Yeah.
yeah. I think 14's in a little better shape, and it'll seem better after well, they're both in decent shape, but 14 won't seem as bad once we get the tracks
Right.
squared away, because I think that sets your head to think that the whole thing's a piece of crap, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, they'll do both of them. Crack sealing, maybe a little patching, but, there's no, we're all on the same page on what we're trying to get there.
Okay, good.
And honestly, they put, almost $2 million into it the last time they used it, and part of that was, knowing that they were gonna have to use it again in a few years. Now, this has been moved twice now, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But that Platte Winter Bridge is $250 million, so they gotta scratch up some money to pay for it,
So, anyway, I just noticed that, because
Yep.
2 weeks ago when the STIP plan came out, it was the first time I'd seen the date change on it, so it's not our project, but we are a participant in it.
Yep, and, no, I'm pretty comfortable we'll stay squared away with them,
Yep.
so.
Good.
Good deal.
Good?
Cool.
All right.
Nothing else?
I don't have anything else.
All right.
Well, it was a beautiful day.
Thanks, you as well.
Carl, you're good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And you're great.
All right, next up, approve and authorize chairman to sign benefit plan agreement. That was in the packet, if everyone had a chance to read through it. Move.
Second.
Motion by Denner, second by Dinger. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Brings us up to the consent calendar. Lynn?
Approval of the general meeting minutes for July 15th.
Move. Motion by Dinger, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Lane,
Move.
Motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Travel request.
Move. Motion by Dinger, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
Move.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Zoning ordinances, set the hearing date and authorize advertising.
Move. Motion by Dinger, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And the final plat for WW Rentals, first edition.
Move.
Motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? Had a request to go into executive session to
I'll do one.
discuss contract. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not a major one, but it's Carl Perry, Senator, District 3. And this is something that most of you may know, but just in case you don't know, South Dakota Retirement System, you are eligible
with their supplemental retirement plan. And I don't know if you've ever looked at that before, but Drew Dennert was a past legislator, so he probably knows a lot about it. But like yourself, you're new, and it's a lower fees for people, and it's also a greater return for people. And not trying to take any business away from anybody in the world, but I'm just making sure that you're aware that those things are available, and information is readily available if you want it. It's something that the state provides, and it happens to fall in a position where it provides it for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Carl. Anything else to come before the Brown County Commission before we go into exec?
Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are in exec. Yeah. All right, we're back in session out of exec with no action as a result. At this point, I would entertain a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the grant writing contract that has been presented, enter into.
Second.
I'm sorry, who? Move. Okay, so motion by Dinger, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next up, I would entertain a motion to forego the bid bond requirement on the padded jail cell quote that we got last week.
Move.
Motion by Gage.
Second.
Second by Weiss.
I guess I would say on that, it's just a remnant of the request for proposals that just didn't get taken out of there. So since we're going straight to contract, the bid bond requirement is unnecessary.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else we need to cover? Thanks to those who showed up last week in Britain. I thought we had a real good meeting. That courthouse project is quite the project.
I saw the county vehicles roaming around. I didn't see any of you guys though.
They took us on a tour. Yeah.
Where was the meeting?
Is that coffee bean place?
Oh, it was
something.
I would
Snappers Dry Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, boy, that's quite a project.
Yeah, that went up, I mean, they started last winter with the footings and the foundation. And then, once the precast walls were in place, it seems to be clicking along pretty quick now.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see it when they're done, because it's a mess now, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They have torn everything out, so I think it'll be nice when they're done, but.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see when they're done.
They estimated about $9 million, 4.5 for the new addition, and then not 4.5 for the remodel, refurbishing of the old courthouse, but.
Hopefully that takes care of their bat problem.
Yeah. No bats in the belfry.
Yeah.
All right, anything else to come before the Brown County Commission this morning?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.